Okay. So I've had a lot of people asking me about my trip and how it went, and so I kind of just wanted to debrief or something, I guess, just to kind of let everybody know how it went, because I don't see everyone at church, and some people are in other states and stuff that have been asking, and I kind of posted a status, and I've posted some pictures and stuff, but I thought it'd be better if I actually got to talk about it and tell how it was. So if you hear gunshots or something, my grandpa's watching a Western, so I'm not getting shot or anything like that. But I guess the first thing I want to say is just thank you to everyone that was praying for me and for our group as we traveled up there. It seemed like this was, we were just blessed the whole time from the time we took off, because it seemed like as soon as we left, our area started getting bad weather, and we were kind of ahead of all the bad weather the entire time, so we didn't have any problems getting up there or anything. I want to thank the Bannermans for taking me. I really appreciate it, and you have no idea how much it means to me. And thanks to my group, too, for just being so accepting. I didn't really know any of them very well before this trip, and they were great. I couldn't have asked for better people to go with, so I guess I'll just start off. We left last Friday, not this past Friday, but the Friday before, the 28th, I think it was. We left at like 4 or 4:30 in the morning. We traveled that night to West Virginia. We stayed at Wybrook Baptist Church. Thanks to them, too. I don't know anybody from there, but it was really nice of them to open up their church to us. We stopped the next morning in Philly, and then that night we arrived at the actual campus at the Lutheran church. I think it was Zion Lutheran that we stayed at in Staten Island. That night I met all kinds of really awesome people. That's one thing. I'd been praying just to make good Christian friends and to meet like-minded people that are mission-minded and, want to get out there and tell others about Christ. And that prayer was definitely answered this trip, I think. So I'm really excited about new friendships and stuff made. But the next morning we actually went to our job site. And I think most crews, it sounded like they kind of went from job to job, like they might take a day to get a job done and then they'd go to the next one and go to the next one. We spent all of our time on 3 houses, and I actually only saw 2 of them. A small group went to the 3rd house, but we spent our time on 2 houses. They're right next door to each other. The landlord, she actually lived in one, and she rented out the other property that was next door to it. So the first day when we got in there, of course this was a mudding out, so we had to remove all of the mud and dirt and items and sewage from basements. So that's what we did the first day. We kind of got all kinds of smelly stuff out of the basement. And then we thought the next day we'd be able to power wash, and we couldn't, because it turned out that there was actually, I don't know how to say it politely, fecal matter, I guess, was mixed in with water, in between the layers of the floor. So we actually had to rip up all of the floor, and I think there was in the one house there was 7 layers or something. So it was you pried up one section of floor, and then there's another layer and another and another and another, even newspapers and stuff. So we had to get all the floorboards up. After we got the floorboards up, had to get all the nails and all the screws out. We took all of the nails and screws out of the studs in the walls. We removed more stuff from another basement. Once we got all the floorboards up, we got everything out of the crawl space and out of the basement floors. That's just kind of the work aspect of it. So we did a lot of cleanup outside. We moved cement cinder blocks that had been knocked over. They actually were part of another building in the backyard. Cleaned up debris out of the yard. So that's the work aspect. So as far as that goes, it was it's probably the hardest I've ever worked, just because there was constantly something to do. But I will say that we had an excellent crew. Everybody worked really hard, and nobody slacked off or anything, because sometimes on mission trips you have people that don't really want to work very hard, but that didn't happen this time, so we were really blessed there, that we all worked hard and worked well together. So that was the work aspect of it. Anytime you go on a trip like this, it always seems like the work is just a tool to get in with the neighborhood or with the people that have been affected by it. For me, this trip was extremely emotional. I think I did pretty well throughout the day because, you know, you're kind of on guard, I guess, during the day, and you're working and you're busy. But it was definitely a growing trip for me. It's difficult to... I've had today to kind of think about it, and yesterday, but when you're right into it, in the middle of it, it's kind of hard to kind of take in everything and let it all soak in, you know, while you're working. But it's apparent as soon as you drive down the streets, just how much devastation there's been in this area. You know, you see people's homes where they have grown up or where they've raised their kids, and they're destroyed, or there's damage, or you see little red notices that mean that the house is condemned. You know, people build their lives in these homes, you know, that's where they make memories, and that's taken away. So as soon as you drive down the street, you have that. We saw a big truck that was flipped over down by the beach. There was just this huge mound of debris with a huge bulldozer, you know, just kind of keeping it all pushed up together. And that's these people's lives. You know, possessions are just things, but a lot of times they're sentimental. And when you're digging through someone's basement and you're finding pictures of some old lady that you don't know holding a baby that you don't know, it still kind of tears you up a little bit because that's somebody's memory, you know, that's lost now. When you find little bits of graduation announcements, you know, that's someone's memories. Those are important to them. So all of a sudden you have these people that have lost more than valuables. I heard of a mom that actually lost two of her kids, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and sorry, it's just kind of hard, you know. I don't know loss like that. I don't know pain like that. I came home and I slept in my bed in a warm home. I spent time with my family today, and it's just difficult, I guess, to understand and to know what to say to these people who have lost everything. But it gives us as Christians a huge platform to be able to reach out to these people. As soon as we got there, we were told that these college kids that were going out there and helping were just a huge witnessing tool, and that people were taking note of it, because it's like people were getting caught in between the rapid relief stuff, between FEMA, between insurance, going back and forth, not being able to get any help. But it's Christian college kids that are giving up their time to go help rebuild people's homes and people's lives. You know, some people, I met people from Washington and Idaho that literally went all the way across the country, you know, to help these people out. And if it stands out to me, and I'm a Christian, and I know that that's what we're supposed to do, how much more does that stand out to people that don't understand and that don't know? I've been thinking a lot today about my favorite Bible verse, and